The galaxy had been watching Earth for a long time, and not with respect, but with laughter. Every advanced civilization in the stars called it a failed prototype, a small, weak planet with simple creatures and no power to matter. Even the smallest of alien drones would giggle when Earth rotated slowly on its blue-green axis. But today, something unusual happened, something that would test the laughter of the galaxy itself. A tiny alien dragon appeared above Earth's atmosphere, its wings shimmering with colors no human eye had ever seen. It looked weak, malnourished, and far from home. Its big eyes scanned the world below, searching for something it could eat, something it could survive on. I can't eat, sir, it whispered in a small, trembling voice, barely audible. The other aliens in their massive ships laughed loudly, their high-pitched voices echoing through space, mocking the helpless creature. How pathetic, one elder alien sneered. Even your species cannot survive a single day on this failed planet. The tiny dragon's wings drooped, and it felt its strength slipping away. Every flicker of hope seemed to vanish as Earth remained calm and unaware of the galaxy's judgment. Below, in a quiet corner of a space research station, a human janitor worked silently. He was a single dad, tired from long shifts, sweeping floors and cleaning messes while everyone else studied advanced technology. He noticed the dragon from a large glass window, its small figure shaking and looking lost. He paused for a moment, his broom in hand, and felt a strange pull in his chest. No one else seemed to care, but he couldn't ignore the creature. He watched as the dragon tried to flap its tiny wings, only to fall again, exhausted, hungry, and weak. The laughter from above grew louder, mocking not just the dragon, but the entire planet below. The dragon looked down, scared and confused. "Sir, can anyone help me?" it asked quietly. But the galaxy only laughed harder. "No one from this weak planet can save you," they said. Even the strongest of alien ships could not imagine a human doing anything heroic. Earth was a joke, a planet of simple, small beings who survived on food and water and nothing more. Yet the janitor, without thinking of glory or reward, walked slowly toward the station's small kitchen. He opened the fridge and found something simple, something ordinary, yet precious in this moment, a slice of pizza. He knew it was not much, but it was enough to give hope, enough to keep a small life alive. Outside, the dragon shivered and looked down at the earth below. It had never seen kindness before, only scorn and laughter. The small human moved carefully, carrying the pizza in his hands, unaware that the galaxy was watching. The alien elders leaned closer, curious and suspicious. "What is that human doing?" they whispered, their voices tinged with disbelief. The dragon's eyes widened, a tiny flicker of hope lighting up its tired face. For the first time, it felt that maybe, just maybe, this weak planet had something more than laughter to offer. The janitor stopped by the window, looking at the dragon with a calm, steady gaze. He did not speak, but his eyes said it all. "You will survive." The dragon hesitated, wings trembling, as the laughter from above filled the sky. It was a moment of choice, a moment that would test not just the dragon, but the meaning of this small planet called Earth. And in that moment, the galaxy watched silently, for the first time unsure if their mockery was truly deserved. The tiny alien dragon slowly descended, its large eyes fixed on the human below. And the janitor, a simple man from a planet they called weak, held out a slice of pizza. It was a small gesture, but it carried the weight of hope, courage, and something the galaxy had never expected from Earth. The laughter continued above, but Earth had already begun to speak in a language the stars would never forget. The tiny alien dragon hovered near the window, wings trembling, unsure of what to do. It had never seen a human act like this, giving food without asking for anything in return. The janitor placed the slice of pizza carefully on a small plate and pushed it toward the dragon. His hands were rough and calloused, but his eyes were soft and kind. "Eat," he said simply, and his voice carried warmth that the dragon had never felt before. The alien dragon hesitated, its large eyes darting to the sky, where the other aliens laughed and jeered. They expected the dragon to refuse, to stay weak, to fail. But hunger and hope were stronger than fear. Slowly, it moved closer, sniffing the food, its tiny claws shaking. It picked up the pizza carefully and tasted it. The warm flavors made it pause, a strange comfort spreading through its body. For the first time, it felt safe, cared for, and seen. The janitor smiled quietly, watching the dragon eat. He knew the galaxy saw humans as weak, but he had learned something they had not. Kindness could be more powerful than weapons, more important than technology. It could change a life, and sometimes, it could even change history. As the dragon ate, it began to regain strength, its wings flapping a little stronger. It looked at the janitor with big, glimmering eyes, trying to understand this strange human. You help me?" it asked, voice trembling, almost like a whisper. "Yes," the janitor said simply. "I help because I can, because it's the right thing to do." The alien dragon had never heard words like this, words that carried no trick, no plan, no joke. It felt a warmth in its chest, something like trust growing inside. The other aliens noticed, their laughter slowing, curiosity replacing mockery. "What is this?" one elder asked, his voice sharp and cautious. "How can a human, a weak creature from a failing planet, help a dragon survive?" The galaxy had never expected this. They had never seen this. Earth was supposed to be nothing, weak and small. Yet here, a single man, a janitor, was showing courage and care beyond any starship, any weapon, any plan. The janitor continued to feed the dragon, day by day, slice by slice. He spoke gently, telling it simple things about humans, about Earth, about survival. The alien dragon listened and learned, its small heart filling with hope and wonder. It realized that humans, though small and simple, had a strength the galaxy could not see. A strength born from compassion, courage, and the will to protect others, even without power or glory. As the days passed, the bond between the janitor and the dragon grew stronger. They became a team, united by kindness and trust. The dragon learned small human habits, like smiling when happy and tilting its head when curious. The janitor laughed softly at these moments, feeling joy he had not known for years. It was a quiet life, simple, humble, but powerful in ways the galaxy could never imagine. Above, the alien elders whispered to each other, confusion and disbelief in their voices. How is this possible?" they asked, staring at Earth with new eyes. "This weak planet, this human, is changing the fate of a creature stronger than many of our own." The galaxy had laughed at Earth, but now, doubt replaced mockery. The janitor's simple act of kindness had become a small rebellion against the arrogance of the stars. And the tiny alien dragon, once starving and alone, now rested its head on the janitor's shoulder. Its eyes closed in trust, knowing it had found a friend in the most unexpected place. A planet the galaxy called weak, a human they called simple. And yet, together, they had begun something greater than anyone could imagine. Days passed on Earth, and the tiny alien dragon grew stronger with each meal the janitor gave. It flapped its wings with more power, its scales glimmering brighter under the sun. The janitor watched proudly, though he never called attention to himself. He knew the galaxy still laughed at Earth, still thought humans were weak. But every small act of care had begun to change that perception, slowly and quietly. The dragon began to mimic the janitor's actions, tilting its head when curious, trying to sweep the floor with its tiny claws. It even learned to carry small tools, helping the janitor in ways that made him smile. The humans in the station began to notice the dragon, but most thought it was a strange, harmless experiment. Only a few whispered quietly, "Could it be? Earth is not as weak as the stars say." One evening, the janitor brought the dragon outside to see the stars. The dragon stared at the sky, its large eyes reflecting distant galaxies. "It's so big, so full of life," it said softly. The janitor knelt beside it, pointing to a nearby planet. "Not everything you see is what it seems. Sometimes, the smallest things can make the biggest difference," he said. The dragon blinked, unsure, but slowly began to understand. It felt a bond forming, a trust it had never experienced. For the first time, it felt that humans were not weak, not silly, but capable of surprising strength. The galaxy above began to take notice, observing the strange partnership between a single human and a tiny alien dragon. "Why does this weak species survive?" one alien elder asked nervously. "Why does the dragon grow stronger under their care?" They watched, confused and uneasy, as Earth seemed to gain a quiet power. It was not weapons or technology, but something they could not control: compassion, courage, and care. Back on Earth, the dragon learned more about humans each day. It learned how to laugh, how to understand simple gestures, how to respond with trust. The janitor taught it small lessons. Kindness matters more than strength, patience matters more than speed. And even the smallest creature can make a big difference. The dragon began to imitate humans' expressions, tilting its head when confused, smiling when happy. It even learned to share food, giving crumbs of its own pizza to small creatures it found. The humans in the station began to notice, amazed at the dragon's gentle nature. No one laughed anymore, not even the scientists, because this small creature was proving Earth could nurture greatness. The bond between the janitor and the dragon grew unbreakable. They slept under the stars together, sharing stories in silence. The dragon whispered of its home world, of dangers and hardships it had faced. The janitor listened patiently, never judging, always encouraging. Their friendship became a quiet rebellion against the galaxy's mockery. It was simple, humble, yet powerful. The dragon was no longer a weak, starving creature. It had learned to trust, to grow, to survive. And it owed its new life to a human the galaxy had underestimated. But the galaxy above was watching still, with suspicion and curiosity. They should not have survived this long, one elder whispered. They are changing the rules of what we thought possible. The laughter had faded, replaced with doubt. Earth, the so-called failed prototype, was showing that strength came not just from power, but from heart, from courage, from the bonds formed between one human and one alien dragon. And as the sun set on the small planet, the janitor and the dragon stood together. Wings stretched wide, hearts filled with trust. The galaxy may have laughed before, but this quiet bond had already begun to rewrite history. For Earth was no longer just a small, weak planet. It was a place where even the smallest kindness could change the fate of a creature, and maybe even the universe itself. The tiny alien dragon had grown stronger and braver. Its wings glimmered with new colors, and its eyes shone with curiosity and trust. But the galaxy had not forgotten, and the elders above watched closely, their patience thinning. They saw Earth, the so-called failed prototype, nurturing a creature they thought would die. And they were angry, suspicious, and unwilling to accept what they could not control. One day, massive alien ships appeared above Earth's atmosphere, casting shadows over cities and forests. The elders had come themselves, their presence dark and intimidating. They demanded the dragon return to its home world immediately. "It does not belong here," one elder thundered. "You have no right to interfere with our affairs." The dragon's wings trembled, but it stayed close to the janitor, seeking protection. The janitor stood calmly, though his heart raced. He was just a human, just a janitor, but he knew that turning away now would mean losing everything he had nurtured. The humans in the station watched in fear and awe. Many were unsure what to do, afraid of the alien power above. But the janitor stepped forward, his voice steady and quiet. "This dragon is not just your concern," he said. "It has learned to survive here because of trust, care, and compassion. And it belongs where it feels safe." The elders laughed at first, mocking his courage. "How can this weak creature, this simple human, challenge us?" they sneered. But their laughter faltered as the dragon roared, wings spreading wide. Its strength and trust reflected the kindness of Earth, the courage of one man. The galaxy had underestimated humans, and now, that mistake became clear. The janitor and the dragon worked together, using cleverness instead of weapons. They led the elders on a chase across the city, avoiding harm while showing small acts of strategy. Humans began helping quietly, moving supplies, opening doors, distracting alien drones. The elders could not believe it, their arrogance breaking under the unexpected intelligence and courage of these small beings. Even a janitor, a man they thought simple, had outsmarted them in subtle ways. Earth's prototype was no longer a joke. It was a planet of hidden strength, resilience, and cleverness. The alien dragon looked at the janitor, trust shining in its eyes. "You fight for me," it whispered, wings trembling but ready. "I fight for what is right," the janitor replied, holding his broom like a staff. He did not need a weapon, only courage and cleverness. The humans and the dragon created a small but powerful resistance. Each simple act of strategy, each gesture of trust, became a small rebellion against the arrogance of the stars. The elders began to retreat slightly, confused and frustrated. "This should not be happening," one hissed. "How can a planet so weak, humans so simple, change the fate of a dragon?" They could not understand the power of compassion, of trust, of courage born in humble hearts. Earth had become more than a prototype, more than a joke. It had become a place where even a janitor and a tiny alien dragon could challenge the galaxy. As the sun set, shadows stretching across the city, the janitor and the dragon stood side by side. They had faced danger together, and their bond had grown stronger. The galaxy above whispered doubts, but Earth had already proven its quiet power. And though the elders would not admit it, a small planet, a simple man, and a tiny dragon had begun to change the universe forever. The galaxy had watched Earth closely, expecting weakness, expecting failure. But it had been wrong, terribly wrong. The tiny alien dragon now stood strong and proud, its wings shining with vibrant colors. Its eyes reflected trust, hope, and a bond that no alien weapon could break. Beside it, the human janitor smiled quietly, humble and tired, but filled with a deep sense of pride. The alien elders hovered above, still confused and angry. They could not understand how a planet they called weak had protected a creature stronger than many of their own. "They are different," one elder whispered, doubt replacing arrogance. "This is not weakness. This is power, a power we did not see." The janitor stepped forward, holding nothing but his courage and his belief in doing what was right. "This dragon belongs where it is safe," he said, calm and firm. "And Earth may be small, but we are not weak. We protect life, we care, and we stand for what is right." The dragon roared softly, a sound of joy and freedom. It spread its wings and flew above the city, showing the elders that strength could come from compassion, from trust, from courage, and from the bonds formed between unlikely friends. Humans watched in awe, realizing that even the simplest acts, like sharing food, could change the fate of a creature. And maybe even the galaxy itself. The alien elders had no choice but to retreat, their arrogance shattered. They could not conquer a planet where courage and kindness were stronger than weapons. Earth, once mocked as a failed prototype, had proven itself. And all because a single dad janitor had chosen to give a little alien dragon one slice of pizza. A small act of care had rewritten the story of a life. And the universe would remember. The janitor knelt down, letting the dragon rest its head on his shoulder. "You did it," he whispered, smiling softly. The dragon blinked, wings fluttering happily. "Yes, we did it together," it said, voice full of gratitude. They had survived hunger, laughter, fear, and danger. And in the process, they had shown the galaxy what true strength meant. Word spread slowly across the stars, stories of a small planet that could protect life with courage. Aliens began to whisper about Earth, no longer with mockery, but with respect and curiosity. "They are simple," one elder admitted, "but they have a strength unlike any we have seen." Humans continued their quiet lives, unaware that their acts of care and courage had made history. The janitor returned to his small home, sharing meals with his child. But now, he knew that even the smallest kindness could echo across the galaxy. The tiny alien dragon stayed close to Earth, learning, growing, and sharing its trust with humans. Together, they had changed the story of a planet, proving that compassion could be stronger than ridicule. That courage could shine brighter than weapons. And that even a single, humble human could make a difference bigger than the stars themselves. As the sun rose over Earth, the janitor and the dragon watched together. The galaxy no longer laughed. It had learned a lesson it would never forget. That Earth, once mocked, was full of quiet heroes. And that even the smallest acts of kindness could shape the fate of the universe. The tiny dragon nuzzled the janitor's shoulder, wings folding gently. And for the first time, both knew that they were no longer just creatures on a small planet. They were part of something greater, a story of hope, courage, and the true strength of humanity. And the galaxy would never underestimate Earth again.